Today's an important detail for us. In the real estate business, it's important for us to recognize the safety and to continue to build the messaging and the awareness around what our agents need to do to make sure that they stay perfectly safe when doing the job and the service for you. So, today we're going to talk about safety tips that can help save people's lives. Bad things happen to good people. If there's one thing that we've learned on this planet, and one thing that we've learned most recently in the United States, is you don't necessarily need to have a engraved love letter of reasoning before you do something stupid, before you ruin somebody's life, before you take your anger out on someone else for your own personal situation that you're going through. I want to make sure that the agents that work with us and the agents who work with our company, especially, and for those of you that are watching and are paying attention to us every week, understand how we can help you with that awareness and understand that even the simple things you do every day could put you at risk. So we want to make you smarter folks when you're on the road, help you understand and see your surroundings better. Every single showing, every meeting, every open house has a level of risk. In real estate, especially, the right realtor safety tips I feel can help you navigate through those things confidently, and it allows you to keep your clients protected, and it allows you to help make sure that when you're doing simple things like unlocking doors on properties in bustling cities of Florida or in the rural communities that we represent so often, that practical strategies can help keep your mindset pure and ensure that you're getting the right and keeping the right safety understanding for yourself. We're going to talk about several things today. We're going to talk about how you can do client screenings and how you can have verifications, showings and open house safety tips, property awareness, on-site security things that you can learn, protecting your personal privacy, your client's privacy, and your images, tools and tactics for emergency readiness. And then, of course, as usual, we're going to get to some of your live questions that are here as well. So, good morning again. Thanks for sticking with us. So, meeting a potential client for the very first time should never be a leap of faith for you. A few simple steps, I think, can help you verify who you're dealing with, can protect your safety and your time, especially for those of you that are buyer's agents and you're buying live leads and you're quite literally just grabbing that first phone call, getting in a car and going show a house to someone you've never met, a neighborhood you've never necessarily represented, seeing a home for someone that you have no idea what their situation is or what you're walking into. A little bit different than on the listing side, where you traditionally have already built a relationship with the client. You know the house, you've toured the home, you've photographed the home, you've represented the home online. You know where you are in the neighborhood and the community that you're in. So I don't want to say it's a little riskier on the buyer side, but it is absolutely riskier for the agents that do not generate leads on their own, that they capture those leads from a purchase program. So, what can I do about it? Number one, and probably the first thing that you can do is don't be afraid to pre screen prospective clients. Before you meet with them, you should be comfortable saying, I need to get your full name, your address, and some contact information like a phone number and an email that I can pass on to my broker since we're going to be spending some time together and we're going to have a representation contract together. It's important for my company to know who I'm spending time with while I'm out in the field. Don't be afraid to troll social media for these folks. Check their social accounts. See if they seem legit. See if they behave online the way they're behaving with you on a phone call. Ask whether they're seeking your services and observe whether they provide as many details as possible. Are they incredibly detailed in their conversations, or are they habitually vague in what they're discussing with you? Both of these things will give you some clues. If it doesn't feel right, folks, it's not right. Back up, get a partner. I'm not saying do not give people representation because you have a bad feeling about them. I'm saying you work with other realtors in your business. Bring a tag along. Ask your broker. See if they're welcome to join you on this tour. You can always do some informal online searches. There are tools available to us as realtors from the NAR and from the Florida Association of Realtors as well that we can use for a quick background check to know who we're talking to and potentially a photo if they provide us an ID. It doesn't have to do a full-blown background check, but if you see keywords, arrests, felonies, things like that, public records that are available online and in the courthouses can certainly help you out if you've been dealing with someone that's been dealing with evictions or housing court cases or things like that. These don't have to be deal breakers, by the way. Situations and stories for clients differ, but it will give you an idea of who you're working with. And don't be afraid to be honest with them and question them about what you're finding. Instead of meeting at the house, if things are questionable, invite them to like your office to review their pre-approval letters, their must-haves, the wants, the budgets. Identify the houses in a brokerage environment or at a busy coffee shop or something like that. Ask questions that are going to gauge whether they're serious, as well as give you an opportunity to feel safe communicating and dealing with them on a state of business. Whether they're serious or buying and selling a property or not is going to come from those same conversations. So you certainly handle two proponents of doing good business at the same time. How long have they been looking? What other agents have they been working with? Simple questions like, have you interviewed any other agents? What have made those interviews stand out to you? And why did you feel it wasn't enough and you needed to continue to interview me so that I can give you an even better sense of security? There's definitely some red flags. If people are refusing to meet you publicly, if people are refusing to go to an office, they may have an ulterior motive. I'm sorry. We're not in COVID anymore. There are no situations to where someone must and absolutely must stay um, distant from you in this transaction. And from the realtor state of mind, you need to make sure that you're not only in front of people, but that you're generating true contact of service so that you can build a relationship around this transaction. Remember, trust your instincts. You need to proceed with caution in every situation. IDs. If you come to this point where you are willing to meet, hey, I'm providing you my business card. It has my picture on it, so you know who I am. If you could please provide me your photo ID. It's a requirement by my brokerage that I know that they know who I'm with when I'm out publicly. Um, Additionally, we do occasionally do pre-screenings. Make it a point to require valid IDs during open houses and showings, especially. Do not segregate who you're doing these things to. Don't put yourself in a position where you're profiling people based on what they look like or what they sound like on the phone or a name you might see in the database. You should keep yourself safe no matter what. You cannot judge who people are based on those profiling situations. So check everybody out. Ask everyone for their ID before you meet them personally. Provide it all in an email, copying your broker and their email address and their information to your broker. So if something happens, your broker knows where to start and your broker knows where to provide information to the police department. While it's not usually a legal requirement, it is highly recommended that you verify who people are before you're spending any time with them in real estate. So requesting a valid ID should be normal. This is going to help you feel better, your families feel better that you're out in those situations, and certainly your brokerage is going to have a better sense of security of who you're doing business with. On the other hand, you don't want to be inconvenient either. So if you need some alternatives to requiring a valid ID for whatever reason they don't have one, or if you live in a state that does not require one, um, you can ask people to pre-register for the open house or the showing. Pre-registration will allow agents to gather basic information. So again, if you want to do a little background searching or if you want to run it through one of our realtor tools, you have the capability of doing that. If you want to use an open house sign-in sheet, I certainly recommend it. It'll allow you to capture complete details. And if certainly if they're putting false names and false informations on that, you do not want to be in the open house alone with them. If they're not willing to be honest about who they are, because under the guise of, well, I just don't like giving out my personal information, I apologize. Be honest. I am in a house alone with you as a complete stranger. I have identified who I am. I'm simply asking, and my brokerage is requiring that everybody that come in simply identify themselves. And if you'll check a little box on the side saying, I do not wish to be contacted, or write me a little note on that paper that says, I do not wish to be contacted, that is perfectly acceptable as well. You can also go as far as to host an appointment only showing. This will control the number of people that are coming in, the amount of people that are coming through at any given time. And you can even go as far as a virtual tour if you simply do not find yourself in a safe situation. Um, Physical attendance is obviously optional that way. It minimizes security risk and it's a live feed. So it makes it very easy for people to join without any types of problems. Again,